You know, people are often obsessed with what successful individuals do, as if there's a formula, some perfect sequence of actions that guarantees achievement. But what's just as important, perhaps even more important, is what they don't do. Because success isn't just about accumulation, it's about elimination. It's about shedding the habits, mindsets, and behaviors that keep you weak, stagnant, and lost. For one, successful people never avoid responsibility. Responsibility is not a burden, it is the fundamental precondition for meaning itself. The moment you shift responsibility onto someone else, you give up your autonomy, you make yourself a victim, and victims have no agency. A successful person understands that their life is their own to manage, that the weight of their existence is something they must carry voluntarily. If you refuse to carry that weight, the world will impose it upon you anyway, and it will crush you. They never let emotions dictate their actions. Emotions are real, but they are unreliable. If you wait until you feel like doing something difficult, you will wait forever. People who achieve things, people who build, who lead, who create, they do what needs to be done despite how they feel. They override their impulses. They master their emotions instead of being ruled by them. They never allow mediocrity to take root in their lives. If you aim for good enough, you won't even get that. Why? Because things fall apart on their own. Entropy exists. If you are not deliberately pushing yourself forward, then by default you are slipping backward. The moment you tolerate mediocrity in yourself, you invite decline. Successful individuals demand more from themselves than anyone else ever could. And that is why they grow while others shrink. They never blame external circumstances for their failures. Life is unfair. Some people are born into wealth. Some have better genetics. Some have more connections. Fine. But if you allow that fact to dictate your attitude, you've already lost. The moment you place blame outside yourself, you give away your power. You tell yourself that the world is in control, and you are not. Successful people reject that notion entirely. They focus on what can be done. They act. They take responsibility for outcomes, even ones that are only partially in their control, because that is the only path to progress. They never ignore their own flaws. It's easy to point fingers. It's easy to blame the system, the government, the economy, your childhood. But if you are unwilling to scrutinize yourself brutally, honestly, then you will repeat the same mistakes indefinitely. Successful people conduct self-audits. They look in the mirror and ask, where am I weak? What am I doing wrong? What needs to change? It is an uncomfortable process. It is painful, but it is also necessary. They never surround themselves with the wrong people. Your environment matters. You become like the people you spend time with. If you surround yourself with people who make excuses, who lack ambition, who resent success, you will absorb that mindset. The most successful people in the world are intentional about their associations. They seek out those who challenge them, who push them, who expect better from them. They understand that growth is not just about what you do, but about who you allow into your life. They never stop learning. Knowledge is cumulative. Every book you read, every skill you develop, every lesson you internalize, these things stack. But most people choose stagnation. They stop learning the moment they leave school. They stop questioning, stop exploring, stop expanding their competence. And then they wonder why life seems to shrink around them. Successful individuals know that learning is a lifelong process. They actively seek out discomfort because discomfort precedes growth. They never break their own word. If you say you will do something and then you don't, you are training yourself to be untrustworthy. Not just to others, but to yourself. Your word is not just a commitment, it is an identity. And if you consistently betray your own promises, you will lose faith in your own capacity. People who succeed take their commitments seriously, especially the ones they make to themselves. They never ignore their physical health. This is one people overlook all the time. Your body is not separate from your mind. It is the vessel through which you experience and act upon the world. If you neglect it through poor diet, through lack of exercise, through chronic stress, you are sabotaging yourself. You are creating unnecessary obstacles. Successful people do not see their health as an afterthought. They understand that energy, vitality, and longevity matter. They never wait for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. There is no ideal moment when everything aligns and conditions are just right. People who fail are always waiting for motivation, waiting for clarity, waiting for permission. But the truth is, action precedes clarity. You move forward despite uncertainty, and in doing so, you create momentum. Successful people start before they feel ready. They understand that perfectionism is just fear in disguise. And so the question is, which of these things are you guilty of? Where are you holding yourself back? You don't have to like the answer. You don't have to feel good about it. But what you do have to do is face it, because reality does not care about your comfort. It rewards those who take responsibility, who act with discipline, who reject the self-imposed limitations that keep most people stuck. The choice is always yours, but remember this: success is not just about what you do. It is just as much about what you stop doing. Successful individuals understand that personal responsibility is the foundation upon which success is built. It is the ability to acknowledge that one's life is a direct result of their own decisions, actions, and efforts. This mindset shifts the focus from external blame to internal control, allowing individuals to take charge of their own development and progress. When people avoid responsibility, they surrender their ability to change their circumstances, leaving their future in the hands of external forces, such as luck, societal structures, or other people's decisions. This not only limits their potential, but also creates a passive and reactive approach to life. Taking responsibility means accepting that failures and setbacks are not merely caused by bad luck or unfair conditions, but are often influenced by personal choices. This does not mean that external challenges do not exist. Rather, it emphasizes that how one responds to these challenges is within their control. People who succeed do not waste time blaming circumstances, upbringing, or society. Instead, they ask, what can I do to change this situation? This shift in perspective enables them to find solutions rather than dwell on problems. They actively seek ways to improve themselves, refine their strategies, and adapt to challenges instead of waiting for external conditions to become favorable. One of the critical aspects of personal responsibility is self-awareness. Successful people regularly assess their own behaviors, habits, and thought patterns to identify areas that need improvement. They do not shy away from difficult truths about themselves because they understand that personal growth requires honest evaluation. When something goes wrong, they do not immediately point fingers at others. Instead, they analyze their own role in the situation. This level of accountability not only fosters self-improvement, but also builds resilience, as they develop the ability to navigate difficulties without feeling powerless. Another key factor is discipline. Success does not come from mere intention, but from consistent effort and execution. People who take full responsibility for their lives do not rely on external motivation to take action. They develop discipline by setting goals, creating systems, and maintaining habits that lead to long-term success. They recognize that hard work, persistence, and a willingness to adapt are necessary components of achievement. Even when they face setbacks, they do not allow themselves to fall into victimhood. Instead, they adjust their approach and keep moving forward. Personal responsibility also extends to relationships and interactions with others. Those who achieve success do not engage in toxic behaviors such as blame shifting, manipulation, or avoiding accountability. They understand that trust and credibility are built on reliability and integrity. When they make mistakes, they own up to them and seek to make amends rather than making excuses. This strengthens their character and earns them respect from others, which in turn opens doors to greater opportunities. Ultimately, personal responsibility is a mindset that empowers individuals to take control of their lives. It fosters independence, resilience, and continuous self-improvement. People who adopt this mindset become architects of their own success rather than passive observers of their circumstances. By embracing responsibility, they unlock their full potential and create meaningful, lasting achievements. Emotional discipline is a fundamental trait of successful individuals because it allows them to act based on logic, principles, and long-term goals rather than temporary feelings. Emotions are an integral part of human nature, and they play a crucial role in decision-making, motivation, and relationships. However, they are also fleeting, inconsistent, and sometimes misleading. If people allow emotions to control their actions, they risk making impulsive decisions, avoiding necessary challenges, and sabotaging their progress. Successful individuals understand that while emotions should be acknowledged, they should not dictate behavior. Instead, they develop the ability to regulate their emotions and maintain focus on their objectives, even when circumstances feel overwhelming. One of the biggest dangers of emotional reactivity is that it often leads to inconsistency. If a person only works hard when they feel inspired, they will achieve little because motivation fluctuates. If they only make difficult decisions when they feel confident, they will remain stuck, because uncertainty is a constant in life. Waiting for the right feeling before taking action is a strategy for failure because the right feeling rarely comes at the right time. High achievers do not allow their emotions to determine their level of effort. They understand that discipline, doing what needs to be done regardless of mood, is the foundation of long-term success. Emotional discipline is particularly important in moments of adversity. Everyone encounters setbacks, disappointments, and frustrations, but how a person responds to these difficulties determines whether they grow or remain stagnant. Those who lack emotional control often react impulsively, blaming others, giving up too soon, or making decisions that create bigger problems. In contrast, successful people remain composed under pressure. They process their emotions, analyze the situation rationally, and take productive action. This ability to remain steady, even in turbulent circumstances, sets them apart from those who allow emotions to cloud their judgment. Another key aspect of emotional discipline is resilience. People who achieve their goals do not allow fear, self-doubt, or frustration to stop them. They recognize that emotions like anxiety and discouragement are natural but not defining. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, they move forward despite it. Instead of dwelling on frustration, they channel it into problem solving. This does not mean they suppress emotions entirely, but rather that they do not let emotions dictate their actions in a way that undermines their progress. Managing emotions also plays a crucial role in relationships and leadership. Those who lack control over their emotions often struggle with interpersonal conflicts because they react impulsively, say things they later regret, or let anger and frustration damage their personal connections. Successful individuals, on the other hand, maintain composure in difficult conversations, listen before reacting, and respond with thoughtful words and actions. This ability to regulate emotions earns them respect and strengthens their ability to lead and collaborate effectively. Ultimately, emotional discipline is not about ignoring or suppressing feelings, but about mastering them. It is about recognizing that emotions are temporary and that long-term success requires consistency, focus, and rational decision-making. By learning to manage their emotions rather than being controlled by them, successful people create stability, build resilience, and maintain progress even when circumstances are challenging. This mindset allows them to stay committed to their goals, act with integrity, and make decisions that serve their best interest in the long run. Continuous learning and self-improvement are essential for success because they ensure that an individual remains adaptable, competent, and prepared for challenges. The world is constantly evolving, and those who stop learning risk becoming outdated, irrelevant, or stagnant. Successful individuals recognize that education is not confined to a classroom or a specific stage of life. Instead, it is a lifelong process that requires deliberate effort and a willingness to challenge one's own knowledge and skills. By consistently seeking new information, refining their abilities, and expanding their understanding, they position themselves to take advantage of opportunities and navigate complex situations with confidence. One of the biggest differences between those who succeed and those who struggle is their attitude toward growth. People who do not prioritize learning often believe that intelligence, talent, or success is static, something a person either has or does not have. This mindset leads to complacency, as they assume that their current level of knowledge is sufficient. In contrast, high achievers adopt a mindset of continuous improvement. They see gaps in their knowledge as opportunities rather than shortcomings, and they actively seek out challenges that push them beyond their current limits. This commitment to learning allows them to develop expertise, gain valuable insights, and continuously refine their approach to work and life. Another key aspect of continuous learning is the ability to adapt. The skills and knowledge that are valuable today may not be relevant in the future. Industries change, technologies evolve, and societal expectations shift. Those who refuse to learn new things or resist change often find themselves left behind, struggling to keep up with progress. Successful individuals, however, are proactive in staying informed and developing new competencies. They embrace challenges that force them to grow, whether through reading, mentorship, practice, or formal education. By maintaining curiosity and adaptability, they remain ahead of the curve and prepared for unexpected shifts in their personal or professional lives. Self-improvement is also closely linked to discipline and self-awareness. A person cannot improve if they do not first acknowledge their weaknesses. Successful individuals conduct honest self-assessments, identifying areas where they can grow and taking action to address those gaps. This process requires humility, as it involves recognizing that no matter how skilled or knowledgeable a person may be, there is always room for improvement. It also requires persistence because true mastery is not achieved overnight. Consistently working on oneself, whether by refining a skill, improving emotional intelligence, or strengthening decision-making abilities, ensures that this is not temporary but sustained over time. Beyond technical knowledge and skills, continuous learning also enhances personal growth. People who commit to lifelong learning develop greater critical thinking abilities, better problem-solving skills, and a deeper understanding of human behavior. They become more adaptable to stress, more resilient in the face of failure, and more capable of navigating complex social and professional dynamics. This makes them not only more effective in their careers, but also more fulfilled in their personal lives. Ultimately, learning is an investment in oneself. It is not just about acquiring information, but about refining thought processes, improving decision-making, and cultivating the ability to adapt to new circumstances. Successful people do not see education as a phase of life, but as a continuous journey that enables them to evolve, stay relevant, and maximize their potential. By prioritizing learning and self-improvement, they ensure that they remain capable, confident, and prepared for whatever challenges lie ahead. The people we surround ourselves with play a significant role in shaping our mindset, habits, and overall trajectory in life. Successful individuals understand this deeply and are intentional about the company they keep. They recognize that relationships are not neutral. They either push a person forward or hold them back. Those who achieve great things do not allow negativity, mediocrity, or toxic influences to take root in their lives. Instead, they seek out people who inspire, challenge, and support them in their pursuit of excellence. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that their environment does not affect them. However, human behavior is highly influenced by social dynamics. If a person spends most of their time around individuals who complain, make excuses, and resist growth, they will inevitably adopt similar attitudes. Even if they start with ambition and drive, constant exposure to negativity erodes motivation over time. Successful people recognize this risk, so they carefully choose their relationships. They avoid those who drain their energy, discourage ambition, or promote destructive habits. Instead, they surround themselves with individuals who encourage high standards, accountability, and continuous improvement. Another key factor is the power of shared expectations. In any group, there are unspoken rules that shape behavior. If the norm within a group is laziness, poor decision-making, or lack of ambition, anyone who behaves differently will feel out of place. On the other hand, if a group values discipline, hard work, and self-improvement, those who engage in self-destructive behavior will naturally feel uncomfortable. This is why successful individuals intentionally place themselves in environments that reinforce positive behaviors. They seek mentors, colleagues, and friends who push them to grow rather than allow them to stay stagnant. Being around the right people also provides access to valuable knowledge and opportunities. Those who are ambitious, skilled, and knowledgeable often share insights, resources, and connections that help others advance. Successful individuals do not try to succeed in isolation. They actively engage with those who can help them learn and improve. They build relationships with people who have expertise in different areas, ensuring that they are always exposed to new ideas and perspectives. By doing so, they create a network that accelerates their growth and opens doors that might otherwise remain closed. Choosing the right environment is not just about avoiding negativity, but also about fostering positive influence. Just as successful people seek out those who elevate them, they also strive to be a source of inspiration and encouragement for others. They understand that relationships should be mutually beneficial, where both parties challenge and support each other. This creates a cycle of continuous improvement, where success is not just an individual achievement, but a shared experience. Ultimately, success is not only about personal effort, but also about the collective influence of one's surroundings. The people we interact with shape our beliefs, behaviors, and possibilities. By consciously choosing to be around those who embody the qualities we aspire to, we set ourselves up for growth and achievement. Successful people do not leave this to chance. They deliberately create an environment that nurtures excellence, ensuring that they are constantly motivated, challenged, and inspired to reach their full potential. Waiting for the perfect time is one of the greatest illusions that holds people back from success. Successful individuals understand that if they wait until they feel completely ready, they will never take action. Perfection is an unrealistic standard that often leads to hesitation, procrastination, and missed opportunities. Instead of obsessing over flawless execution, they prioritize action, knowing that progress comes from doing rather than overthinking. They accept that mistakes and setbacks are part of the process and that real learning happens through experience, not just preparation. One of the main reasons people hesitate to take action is fear of failure, judgment, or uncertainty. They convince themselves that they need more knowledge, more skills, or better conditions before they can begin. However, successful individuals recognize that action itself creates clarity and confidence. They do not allow fear to dictate their decisions. Instead, they step forward even when the path is unclear. They understand that momentum is built by taking small steps and adjusting along the way, not by waiting for ideal circumstances that may never arrive. Perfectionism is another major obstacle that prevents people from making progress. Many believe that their first attempt must be flawless, but this mindset leads to stagnation. The truth is that no one gets everything right the first time. Success is a result of continuous iteration, learning from failures and refining strategies. Those who achieve great things do not see mistakes as proof of incompetence, but as necessary steps toward mastery. They take action, assess the results, and improve based on feedback. Over time, this process leads to excellence, while those who wait for perfection remain stuck in inaction. Taking action, even in uncertainty, also builds resilience. The more a person engages with challenges, the more they develop the ability to handle setbacks. Those who delay action in the pursuit of perfection often lack the ability to cope with difficulties when they arise. On the other hand, people who take risks and embrace imperfection develop mental toughness. They learn how to adapt, problem solve, and stay focused despite obstacles. This resilience becomes one of their greatest strengths, allowing them to push forward while others hesitate. Success is ultimately a result of consistency, not perfect execution. High achievers understand that showing up and doing the work whether or not they feel ready is what leads to progress. They do not waste time overanalyzing or waiting for the perfect moment. Instead, they take the best action available to them at the moment and improve as they go. This ability to act without overthinking separates those who achieve from those who remain stuck in indecision. Opportunities do not wait for perfection. Those who succeed are the ones who take risks, embrace imperfection, and refine their approach through real-world experience. They trust that their skills will develop over time and that action itself is the best teacher. By moving forward, even when conditions are not ideal, they gain experience, build confidence, and create momentum. In the end, success is not about being perfect, but about being willing to start, learn, and persist.